Okay, let's get into this. Sirach 8. You should not quarrel with a powerful man, lest perhaps you may fall into his hands. You should not contend with a wealthy man, lest perhaps he may bring an action against you. For gold and silver have destroyed many, and have reached and corrupted even the hearts of kings. You should not quarrel with a man who is full of words, for you should not cast wood upon his fire. Yeah, Terrace.
Wow. I'll go for my fucking Saturday plans.
You should not confide in an ignorant man, lest he speak evil about your family. You should not despise a man who turns himself away from sin, nor reproach him with it. Remember that we are all subject to correction. You should not spurn a man in his old age, for we are all subject to growing old.
Not me. Due to ignorance, I am young forever.
He wants to be forever young.
You just forget to age.
Exactly. It's literally easy, actually.
Just set yourself a reminder. Problem solved.
Remember I said I was 5 earlier? Like, literally what's happening.
Damn. Gonna get banned off Twitch for not aging.
50. Sorry, I didn't finish my word.
Do not be willing to rejoice at the death, with one F, of your enemy, knowing that we all die. And that we do not want others rejoice over us. Hold on. And that we do not want others rejoice over us.
Hey, Skytus, hey.
This is English.
Hey, Skytus, hey.
Now.
Are cattle yours?
I don't know. Do you have a kettle?
I don't know.
Or do you have a doggle?
But are they yours though?
Do you have cattle? I feel like it's a straightforward question.
That's not what he asked.
That's not the question. Are cattle yours?
True. Like, are those specific ones yours?
No, are cattle yours?
Just in general. Not a specific cattle, just cattle as a whole.
One whole entire cattle.
One whole.
You should not despise the discourse of those who are old and wise. Instead, ponder their proverbs. For from them you will learn wisdom and intelligent doctrine, so as to serve mediocre men without blame. Do not allow the discourse of your elders to pass you by, for they have learned from their daddies. And from them you will learn understanding, and you will learn what response to give in a time of necessity. You should not kindle the coals of sinners by arguing with them, for you might be scorched by the flame from the fire of their sins. You should not stand against the face of a contemptuous person, otherwise he may sit down, as if waiting in ambush against your words. You should not lend a man who is stronger. You should not lend to a man who is stronger than you. But if you do lend, consider it lost. Damn, that's pretty smart.
Yeah, they could beat the shit out of you if they're stronger than you. Yeah. It's like, actually, that's like the most practical advice I've seen so far.
I mean, there's useful advice in the Bible, like, if you're the last remainder of your tribe, incest is fine. I think that's pretty useful advice.
Yeah, that one's not too bad now that you mention it. I could use that one. That's
basically
true.
if your kind is down bad, it's fine.
It's not even a problem.
You should not promise beyond your ability, but if you do promise, consider how to fulfill it. You should not judge against a judge, for he judges according to what is just a Gog. But what if a judge is accused of something, and then another judge has to judge the first judge? But he's not supposed to judge him, so do we let the first judge who is accused of not performing his job properly, let's say, do we just let him do whatever the fuck he wants because we shouldn't judge a judge?
Well, yeah, that clearly, yeah.
Yeah. Judges can't do anything wrong, because if they become judges, then clearly they're infallible.
I mean, they become a judge for a reason, you know. It's not just, you don't just show up and you're like, I guess I'm a judge now, you know. It's a process.
Yeah. Like, it's not, people don't just get into high places on accident.
No, they specifically acquire weed and smoke it. And then they become the most high.
Yeah, which you can't do accidentally.
Well, he judges according to what is
unless your friend leaves a pack of edibles on the table and doesn't tell you what they are and you can't read. I suppose that's the way you could become high accidentally.
He can be judged if it was via unwanted edibles. I think that's the consensus we've came to.
You should not go forth on the way with an audacious man, lest perhaps he may burn you with his evils. For he goes forth according to his own will, and you will perish with him in his folly. You should not start a conflict with an angry man, and you should not go into the desert with an audacious man. For shedding blood is nothing to him, and in a place where there is no help for you, he will overthrow you. You should not hold counsel with the foolish, for they are not able to love anything except what pleases them. You should not take counsel in the sight of an outsider, for you do not know what he will do next. You should not reveal your heart to every man, lest perhaps he may offer a false kindness to you and then speak reproachfully about you. And don't open yourself up to others, or you might just feel sad afterwards.
Yeah, so far I'm seeing, like, don't open yourself up to literally fucking anybody, and it's not even done yet.
I mean, don't reveal your heart makes sense, because they might just stab it. Like, if you're like, oh, here, look, my heart. And then they just, oh, stab, free kill.
It is a vital organ. They didn't have, like, a way to like, give you a pig heart back then. So that's, like, a pretty bad thing to lose.
There is reviving, so, I mean, I don't know how exactly
They did have the Jesus buff.
Not just Jesus, there's been other revivals, so I don't know if you get stabbed through the heart, if you can just still revive, or you have to die of old age and then reviving works. I don't know. Hello, cat peasant. But I can't hear you. Or somebody will giggle at that somewhere in some universe. Sirach 9. You should not be jealous of the wife of your bosom, lest she reveal, because of you, the malice of a wicked lesson. What the fuck does that mean?
What?
Okay, don't be jealous of a wife of your own offspring, I think is what this means. Otherwise, she might teach you a very important wicked lesson. So don't do an incest with your son's wives, because she might just teach you things.
It's also if she reveals, or lest she reveals. So maybe it's like don't be shitty, or else they'll say that you were shitty.
Don't be shitty, or she'll give you the titty.
Don't be shitty, or she'll give you the titty.
You should not give authority over your soul to a woman. Okay, I can agree with that. Lest she obtain your strength, and then you would be confounded. Ah, yes, the good old succubi. The fuck is this even supposed to mean? Lest she obtain your strength, and then you would be confounded. You should not look with favor on a woman with many desires, lest perhaps you may fall into her traps. Okay, so if a woman is, let's just say specifically, I mean, this is any desires, but if a woman has a lot of sexual desires, then you should not look with favor upon her. So basically, the Bible is telling us that fornicating is not good, at least when women do it. Is this where this whole stigma against sluts comes from?
Probably this and other things. So far, just women aren't allowed. If they have any desires, they're like,
congratulations,
fucked.
You just summed up the Bible in 3 or 4 words. You should not be continually in need of entertainment, nor should you be persuaded by it, lest perhaps you may perish by its effectiveness. Oh yeah, that is very relevant nowadays. TikTok
They
attention
predicted
span.
TikTok.
You should not stare at a virgin, lest perhaps you may be scandalized by her beauty. Okay, so it's fine if you stare at a woman that is not a virgin, because you can't be scandalized by her beauty, because non-virgins are just ugly by default?
Yeah, they can't scandalize you. They're too ugly. It's just impossible.
They can just sandalize you. You should not give your soul in any way to fornicators, lest you destroy yourself and your inheritance. However that works, but okay. Do not choose to look around in the streets of the city, nor should you wander along its thoroughfares. Wait, do not choose to look around in the streets of the city. Like, in general, or is this still talking about fornication? So just don't pick up prostitutes off the street, or is this just don't look around in the streets for stuff to pick up off the ground? You know, don't be poor, basically.
You can only walk down a street if you're wearing a blindfold.
I mean, if you don't look around, if you just look straight forward, that should be fine. But actually, why? Makes no fucking sense. Avert your
Might be
face.
prostitution?
That's the only thing I could come up with, but who knows? I don't. Avert your face from an ornate woman, for you should not gaze upon strange beauty. Many have perished because of the beauty of a woman, and by this desire is kindled like a fire. Every woman who is a fornicator will be trampled down like the filth in the streets.
Jesus.
That's okay. Yeah,
Calm down.
That's a fucking line and a half. What? Where does this even come from? But if a man fornicates, that's fine, because I guess technically a man could impregnate multiple women, which is good because more offspring means more people who follow Skytus. But a woman can only have one, or well, I guess 4 or 5 or however many children at the same time. Many, by admiring the beauty of the wife of another, have become reprobate. For familiarity with her flares up like a fire. You should not sit down at all with another man's wife, nor recline with her on a couch. That is oddly specific. Like, not sitting down, okay, but you can't recline with her on a couch. But if you lay down in bed, that's not sitting down, and it's also not reclining on a couch.
There's not going to be enough alcohol.
I think I found a loophole.
Yeah, I mean, that's fine. I mean, just lying down next to him, what's wrong with that?
Just the one loophole.
L-U-B-E hole. Curse. Wink.
You know what? We've made a mistake.
One?
We've made one big mistake in the Bible. You know what we should have done?
Drink more.
And unfortunately, we can't really do that now. We would have to have done it when we started reading the Bible.
Never start?
Well, we could have added a page to the spreadsheet with a list of loopholes. How to get around all the Bible's rules.
Yeah, that would have been good. Okay, that's your homework for whoever's listening.
Go through all the rest of the pages. It won't even take that long, really.
Just some autistic kid, like 10 years from now, finds this, and then just messages us like a decade later, going, "Here you guys go." If you're that person, I'll give you €5.
I'll add another.
Specifically euros.
I'll add another 10 just for good measure.
There you go. And now your prize, just to make it fair, we will account for inflation whenever you get it. So if 10 years from now, you need to,
I knew that was coming.
650 and 12, then we'll do it. It's fine. We're gonna get your fair share.
Oh shit!
We don't want you to get less than what we promised, just due to inflation.
Dude, even Cat Peasant is chipping in. He's adding fuck all.
Nice.
Oh shit.
Will you account that for inflation? No.
I'll give my gratitude.
And you should not argue with her over wine, lest perhaps your heart may turn toward her, and by your emotion you would be toppled into perdition. Ah yes, don't argue with her, because then you might fall in love with her, and reasonable. I also get pretty horny when I argue with Terrace. You should not abandon a old friend, because apparently we don't know how to English. You should not abandon an old friend, for a new one will not be similar to him. A new friend is like wine. You will grow old, and then you will enjoy drinking it. What is this vampire
What
shit?
a bar. So true. You don't know someone the moment you meet them. Oh my, I can't believe they were so wise when they wrote
That is
this.
such a fucking bang on its own. A new friend is like wine. It will grow old, and then you will enjoy drinking it. It's... That is fucking good. You should not envy the glory and wealth of a sinner, but you do not know what may be his undoing in the future. The injury of the unjust demagogue should not please you, knowing that, until they are in hell, the impious will not please. Keep yourself far from a man having the power to kill, and then you will not have the fear of death with one F suspended over you. Doesn't like a good chunk of Americans have guns? How do you keep yourself far away from all of these, except for just emigration?
Well, you'll have to ask the Americans, because they are very religious and they have a lot of guns. So clearly they know something we don't.
Do we have any Americans around?
I don't think so, unfortunately. I mean, if you think about it, they like guns. So, I mean, that one was just a metaphor, and you're taking it too literally, because they like guns.
But if you do approach him, do nothing to offend, lest perhaps he may take away your life. Oh, actual useful advice. So, kinda obvious. Know that this is a communion with death, with one F. But you would be entering the midst of snares and walking upon the arms of the grieving. According to your ability, be cautious of your neighbor and treat him as the wise and prudent would. Let just-agog men be your companions, and let your glory be in the fear of Skytus. And let the thought of Skytus be in your mind, and let all your discourse be on the precepts of the Most High. Works will be praised for the hands of the artists, and a leader of the people will be praised for the wisdom of his words. Yet truly, the word of the elders will be praised for its understanding. A man full of words is a dread to a city, but one who speaks rashly will be hated for his word.
Just don't speak. Just really
I know what you're thinking. Don't tell me because it hurts. Would you like to go on?
I can go on.
Would you like to?
I think so.
I dare you.
I'll go all the way to 11.
Damn.
Like a mad lad.
Inches?
11 inches. All for Skytus. You don't get any.
All the way down.
Well, if I get his 11 inches, you can have my 5.
Generous.
Pretty good, actually. What do I get? Do I just get to read?
You get
You get to clean up afterwards.
these nuts.
Oh shit, wait, this is worth it then.
There's no shit in them, actually, as far as I can tell. So yeah, no shit.
Wow.
I know, that's nuts.
I mean, that kind of makes them less exciting, if anything. But I guess it'll have to do.
Less exciting and
You can
less
shit in them
excrementing.
beforehand?
What?
You can shit in them beforehand?
Shitty idea.
You're right. A wise judge will judge his people, and the leadership of an understanding man will be steadfast. As the judge of the people is, so also are his assistants. And whatever kind of man the ruler of a city is, of such a kind also are those who live in it. A foolish king will be the ruin of his people, for cities will be inhabited through the understanding of those with power. Power over the earth is in the hand of Skytus, and in due time he will raise up a helpful leader over the earth. What's like the timeline on that?
Yes. When it's done.
Good shit, good shit. The prosperity of a man is in the hand of Skytus, and he will place his honor above the face of the scribe. You should forget all injury done to you by your neighbor, and you should do nothing among the work of injury. I forgot about that one.
That's not how you pronounce that word.
You will do nothing among us, the works of injury?
No. It's actually among us, the works of injury.
Okay. Amongst us, the works of injury.
Thank you.
Arrogance is hateful in the eyes of Skytus, and of men, and all iniquity amongst us, the nations, is abominable. A kingdom is transferred from one people to another because of unjust caucuses and injuries and the contempt and every kind of deceit.
Sure, let's
But
go with
nothing is
that.
more wicked than a greedy man. Why should that which is earth and ashes be arrogant?
I mean, yeah, why should that which is earth and ashes be arrogant? Good question. How would that even
What does
work?
that even mean? Yeah, what the fuck?
Like, somebody just raises an earth golem and then the golem is being arrogant?
No one wants an arrogant golem. I mean, that golem just sounds like an asshole.
I don't
There
know
is
how that
nothing
works.
more iniquitous than love to money, for such a one has sold even his own soul, for in his life he casts aside his innermost being.
The word is actually iniquitous, but go on.
I'm illiterate.
That's true.
All power is of short life. A prolonged sickness is of a grave concern to a physician.
What? I mean,
Yep,
yeah, you're not wrong.
that's yeah. Usually, you don't want to be sick for that long. That's yeah. Hold on, they're kind of right about this one.
Yeah, thanks for the advice. Bible advice 101. Don't be sick for a long time. It's not good for health. You're welcome.
I need to start making notes. This shit has lessons.
What the
I was just
fuck?
trying to, man. A physician causes a sickness to be shortened. So also a king is here today, and tomorrow he will die. For when a
What?
man dies, he will inherit serpents and wild Bistonians and worms.
What am I smoking right now? What?
What the fuck?
What is happening?
So first he threatens a king, like a king will fucking die tomorrow. And then that's a lot of things to inherit. Like is that every snake? That's a lot of things to inherit.
I think that's just a stupid way of saying his carcass will be eaten by locusts and whatever the fuck else, serpents, Bistonians, worms, and whatever will just be devoured by nature. What? I don't see the point of this.
That doesn't make that. I don't understand. The benigninging of the arrogance of man is apostasy from Skydas. For his heart has withdrawn from the one who made him. For arrogance is the beginning of all sin. Whoever holds to it will be filled with evil words, and it will overthrow him in the end. Because of this, the Lord has dishonored the gatherings of the evil, and he has destroyed them, even unto the end. Skydas has destroyed the seats of arrogant leaders, and he has caused the meek to be seated in their place.
Wait. He has destroyed the
Impressive.
seats. So the seats are gone. So they were just sitting in their chairs, and then all of a sudden they just fall down on the ground and they're confused. And
Like
then
that.
he has caused the meek to be seated in their place. So where the arrogant leaders were sitting just a moment before they fell down because their chairs disappeared, now there's the meek. But there's no chair, so they are just teleported there in a sitting position, and then they fall over onto the arrogant leaders because there are no seats.
This is a clusterfuck. He really didn't think it through when he did that.
It's a cluster fuck. With an emphasis on fuck.
True. Only if they're brother and sister. This is the Bible, after all. The roots of arrogant nations Skydas has dried up, and the humble amongst us these nations he has planted. The Lord has... Oh God. The Lord has overthrown the land of the Gentiles, and he has utterly destroyed them, even to their foundation. He has dried up some of them, and he has utterly destroyed them, and he has caused their memory to depart from the earth. That's a little harsh.
Just has like a USB stick with the memories and just yeets it into space.
Yeah, like fucking... That's just not even normal death. It's not heaven, hell, earth. It's just fucking gone.
No, that's death
forever.
with one F. No, actually, maybe even with two F.
That's like that's a 2F moment. That's hard. Skytus has abolished the memory of the arrogant, and he has left behind only the memory of those who are humble in his mind. Nope, humble in mind, sorry. Arrogance was not created for men, nor was an angry temperament created for the gender of women.
Excuse me, what is this supposed to mean? Men should not be arrogant and women should not be angry.
We almost went a whole page without some random remark, sexist remark, like... So women are arrogant but not angry, and I guess men are angry but not arrogant.
They're allowed to be, or... Yeah, I guess. At least that's my interpretation.
Those who fear Skytus amongst us, the offspring of men, will be honored. But those amongst us, the offspring who ignore the commandment of the Lord, will be dishonored. In the midst of his brothers, a ruler has honor, and those who fear the Lord will have honor in his eyes. People who have honor tend to have honor in others' eyes. That one's a thinker. They were cooking there. The fear of Skytus is the glory of the wealthy, and of the honorable, and of the poor. Is there, does that cover all the bases, or is there anything between?
Oh, I misinterpreted that sentence. I was like, wait, why is Skytus afraid of the glory of the wealthy? That makes
God
no sense.
fears rich people. They're guaranteed
Dude,
heaven
they
because
could
he's too scared
actually
not to.
contest him. Damn.
Well, I guess that makes sense why you haven't seen God. We have too many rich people.
Have you ever seen the true face of God, Terrace?
Oh boy.
Isn't
I
God
have.
this Skytus guy?
I have dill flavored crisp.
Are they delicious?
Yeah, that's the one.
Can you find the face of God in them?
Actually, you might be able to. Okay,
Nah, it doesn't look like a face.
Okay, so Terrace, take the bag and put it over your head and squeeze real tight, and you might encounter the face of God.
Those are the instructions in the book. You have to participate.
a real, fuck, what's the word? A real epiphany will happen if you do this. Oh, Cat hasn't figured out how your crisps are made.
Wow, dildo. No way.
No, that's what I usually make my pizza with.
I mean, that's
Instead of a rolling
how,
pin?
that's how you roll out the dough, right? I
Yeah,
mean,
that's the
technically
one.
it might work.
Yeah, it might not be very good.
Most people use a bottle. It can't be any worse than a bottle, right?
I mean, you don't roll pizza though. You stretch it by hand.
Maybe you do.
The key to a good pizza dough is to keep the bubbles intact. You know, the bubbles from the yeast. So if you're rolling it out, you're losing all the bubbles. So that's why you stretch a pizza by hand and not by a rolling pin or any other squishy device.
I don't believe in gluten development.
Harris stretches a lot of things by
It's not
hand.
about gluten development. It's about keeping the air bubbles intact. That's what keeps the dough, kind of gives it that nice crunch and airiness instead of just having a hard flat bread.
Hard flat dildo for the bread.
Yeah, that one.
Do not choose to despise a just a gawk man who is poor, and do not choose to magnify a sinful man who is rich. The mediocre man and the judge and the powerful have honor, but no one is mediocrer than he who fears Skytus. Those who are free will serve an understanding servant, and a prudent and disciplined man will not murmur at correction, but an ignorant man will not be honored. Wait, what?
What?
Yeah, you read that
The
right.
mediocre, the judge, and the powerful have honor.
Yes.
An ignorant man will not be honored.
Yes.
So are ignorant people not mediocre?
Well, if they are, then they have power, but they also don't have power, so it cancels out. So they have maybe power, like Schrödinger's power. It's like the U.S. power grid. It might be there, it might not be.
Exactly.
Fuck off, Titus.
No, not yet.
Do not choose to extol yourself in doing your work, and do not be unproductive during the time of distress.
Oh, Terrace, this one's for you. Do not be
What?
unproductive during the time of distress. I feel like you're.
That's okay. Good thing I'm not in distress.
I feel like you're
I'm just
regularly in
unproductive.
distress and you're frequently unproductive. I hope these never overlap.
I know it's fine. I'm never actually in distress.
Okay, good.
I might be a little bit. What's the word I'm looking for?
Stupid, arrogant.
No.
Angry.
It's a kind of feeling of annoyance, but like
Upset.
No. There's a word for it I'm thinking of. that I can't think of.
Inconvenienced.
No. It's like a sharp temporary annoyance.
Gaitis.
Well, yeah, you're the cause of it, but that's not what I'm looking for.
I like how the person that does not speak English during their work day is trying to guess an English word when there's two people who should be very competent at English, at least in theory.
Hold on.
I'm an American. I take offense to that.
I don't speak English. I speak American.
Yeah. I mean, I suppose this word is just a synonym of annoyed. But yeah, the word I was thinking of is irked.
Glad we cleared that up.
If it was just annoying, that wouldn't have worked.
No, I feel like annoyance is a soft and continuous, and irked is like a sharp and quick annoyance. Like when Skytus says something stupid and I sigh and then move on with my day.
So
I'm not going to be annoyed at his joke, 2 minutes from now. I'm just going to be annoyed when he says it, and then I'll just remember the fact that he is in fact just a Skytus and then move on with my day.
So the situation turned from murky to irky.
See what I mean?
I have a counterpoint. I have like a small
Penis?
bar or counter of contempt slowly growing, and every day I loathe him for these jokes more and more.
Loathe is
what
not the
point
right.
are you going to shut up,
You
Germany?
misspoke. You meant love, not loathe. They sound similar, but they're very different.
I just went up like one tick.
Wait, do you run on 30 tick or 64 tick?
At what point does the
33
chalice
tick.
overflow?
I feel like it's already overflown. I feel like
He's overflowing with joy.
Yeah, whenever he stops talking to you.
exactly. He who works and so abounds in all things is better than he who boasts and so lacks bread.
Bread.
Your mum, yeah?
Harris likes bread.
Bread-eating gentlemen. But not if they're boastful, though.
Your mom, yeah.
Son, preserve your soul in meekness, and give it honor according to its merit. Who will justigokify one who sins in his soul, and who will honor one who dishonors his soul? The poor man is glorified by his discipline and fear, and there is a man who is honored because of his substance. But if someone is glorified in poverty, how much more in substance? And whoever is glorified in substance, let him fear poverty.
What?
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 For one, be afraid of being poor. Constantly. All the time. That's part one of the lesson.
Be afraid of the poor. They might steal your lunch money. Hey, Terrace, I just had
Holy
a big brain
shit.
idea.
I don't believe you.
You're irked by my presence. For a mere €5 tip, I will disappear and change, which means you'll get about a minute of silence. And I get to return in glorious fucking word.
Inglorious nun outfit.
Vestments. Yeah, but I was trying to think of the fancier word for it. Yes, vestment works. In the beginning, there was a subscriber.
Dab.
I already dabbed once. You were present. It was a glorious moment. It's not gonna happen again.
I am
Well, you've
done
been
with
paid
the
now,
reading.
so vanish.
No, that was not a 5 euro tip. That's not how it works.
That's exactly how that works.
Nope.
What do you get for 7 euros?
I don't know. What would you want?
Or a better yet question: how much for you just to not come back?
How long are we talking?
What part of not come back did you not understand?
Well, I don't think you can afford that.
You go on a spontaneous fucking cycle around your neighborhood.
Sirach 11. The wisdom of one who is humble will exalt his head, will cause him to sit down in the midst of mediocre men. You should not praise a man for his beauty, and you should not despise a man for his appearances. And the bee is small amongst us flying things, but its fruit holds the summit of sweetness.
Fuck off.
That's amazing.
Actually, fuck off.
Why is
That's
that
the best
here?
line yet.
What the fuck is this book?
Wait, is the bee part not netted? Is it just fucking
No,
talking
that's
about bees?
literally.
Why? What does this have to do with anything that's... Like, what the fuck does bees have to do with
Absolutely
honor and,
fucking
like,
nothing.
hating women and shit?
According to all known laws of aviation, there is no way a bee should be able to fly because its wings are too small. So they're just referencing this. The bee is small amongst us flying things. Yeah, it all makes sense. This is great.
I'm confounded.
You should not.
Flabbergasted, even.
You should not glory in clothing at any time. What is this? Is the Bible listening to what we're talking about? And you should not let yourself be extolled in the day of your honor. For the works of the Most High alone are wondrous, and glorious, and hidden, and unseen are his works. Many tyrants have sat upon a throne, and one whom no one would admire has worn a diadem. Many powerful men have been powerfully cast down, and the illustrious have been handed over into the hands of others. Before you inquire, you should not place blame on anyone, and when you have inquired, reprove justigocally. Before you listen, you should not respond a word. And you should before you listen, you should not respond a word. So you're not allowed to initiate a conversation.
Only listen constantly, even if they're foolish.
And you should not interrupt in the middle of a discourse. You should not contend in a matter which does not concern you, and you should not sit in judgment together with sinners. Son, you should not be involved in any matter in many matters. And if you become rich, you will not be free from transgression. For if you pursue, you will not apprehend. And if you run ahead, you will not escape. There is an impious man who labors and hurries and grieves, but all the more will he be without abundance. There's a debilitated man in need of recovery, who is lacking in strength and abundant in poverty. Yet the eye of Skytus has looked with favor upon him for his benefit, and he has lifted him up from his humiliation, and he has exalted his head. Only his head, though. And many have wondered at him, and they have honored Skytus. Good things and misfortune, life and death with one F, poverty and wealth are from Skytus. Wisdom and discipline and knowledge of the law are with Skytus. Love and the ways of good things are with him. Error and darkness have been created by sinners, and those who exalt in evil grow old in evil. Wait, so they grow old. That's actually a good thing. They don't die at a young age. Which is fairly common in the Bible as far as I can tell. So maybe you should exalt in evil. The gift of Skytus
Seems like a guaranteed way of life.
Basically, yeah, you're guaranteed to grow old.
Kind of another loophole.
The question is which old? Like old Bible old or new Bible old? Because back in like Genesis, they get close to 1,000 years, and now it's more like 100-ish. So old can be stretched. Like the pizza dough. The gift of Skytus remains with the Justagog man, and his advancement will have success unto eternity. There is one who is enriched by spending sparingly, and this is the extent of his reward. About this, he says, I have found rest for myself, and now I alone will eat from my goods.
No.
But he does not know how much time will pass before death with one F approaches, and then he must leave everything behind to others and die. Stand fast in your covenant and become familiar with it, and grow old in the work of your commandments. You should not spend time in the works of sinners. Instead, trust in Skytus and remain in your own place. For it is easy, in the eyes of Skytus, to make a pauper suddenly rich. And the blessing of Skytus hurries to reward the Justagog man. And in a fleeting hour, his advancement bears fruit. You should not say, what do I need? Or, what good will there be for me in this? You should not say, I have enough for myself. Or, what could be worse than this? In a day of good things, you should not be forgetful of misfortunes. And in a day of misfortunes, you should not be forgetful of good things. For it is easy in the sight of Skytus, on the day of one's passing, to repay each one according to his ways. The affliction of an hour causes one to forget mediocre delights, and in the end, a man is the uncovering of his works. You should not praise any man before death with one F, for a man is known by his children. You should not bring every man into your house, for many are the snares of the deceitful. For as a stomach with a bad smell vomits, and as a partridge is led into a cage, and like a deer led into a snare, so also is the heart of the arrogant. And it is like a bystander watching his neighbor fall. For it lies in ambush and then turns the good into evil, and it will place the blame on the elect. From one spark, a mediocre fire grows, and from one deceitful man, much blood flows. But a very sinful man lies in ambush for blood. Pay close attention to yourself before a harmful man. Pay close attention to yourself before a harmful man, for he fabricates evils. Otherwise, he may lead over you a whispered reproach unceasingly. Receive a stranger to yourself, and he will overthrow you with a whirlwind, and he will alienate.
That's okay, guys. I brought some bread.
And he will alienate you from what is your very own. So the last one is interesting. It's not just be careful of arrogant or weird strangers. It's just receive a stranger to yourself, and he will overthrow you.
All strangers are bad. Never give asylum.
Like this is not necessarily racism. This is just, I guess, discriminatory. Just any stranger, anyone you're not familiar with is evil, because he will fuck you over.
What does that mean? Uncultivated is evil.
I think you've been just inviting evil to every single show. Because if you have a guest, they're a stranger.
But how do you define a stranger? I mean, I'm already strange. And you're a stranger?
No, you're not strange, you're a weirdo.
And you're a dildo.
You are what you eat, so he has to be.
Well, that makes me a salami sandwich.
I mean, you are looking delicious today. Sirach 12. If you do good, know to whom you did it. Know to whom you do it.
Thanks, Shadowcat.
and there will be many thanks for your
You've been
good
blessed.
deeds. Do good to the Justigog, and you will find mediocre recompense. And if not from him, certainly from the Lord. For there is no good for someone who is always occupied in evil, or who does not give alms. Alms? I
Guys,
think it's alms. Can never
guys, I
remember.
got a block of cheese.
Me when I play video games and try to go fast.
I enjoy cheese.
What kind of cheese?
Mild cheddar.
That's a good one to
that
have a
about
lot of.
sums up the chat room right now.
Yeah, there is almost no comments for the entirety of, I guess the second half, to be
It's-
fair, of Sirach 11. That one was very mid.
There's only some mild cheddar.
You're very mid.
Shut the fuck up.
For
That's horrible.
For the Most High holds hatred for sinners. He takes pity on the repentant. Give to the merciful, and you should not assist the sinner. For the impious and the sinner will be repaid with vengeance being held for them on the day of retribution. Give to the good, but you should not receive from a sinner. Do not do good to the humble, but you should not give to the impious. Withhold your bread. Do not give it to him. Otherwise, he may overpower you with it.
That's
Wait.
okay. I got mustard in my desk as well.
Hold. Withhold your bread. Do not give it to him. As in, do not give it to the impious. Yeah. Withhold your bread. Do not give it to the impious. Otherwise, he may overpower you with it.
Yeah, I'll just fucking beat the shit out of you with a stiff baguette.
Yeah, that's what I'm asking. It's just, he's just gonna leave it out in the open until it gets really dry and hard, and then he's just gonna beat the fuck out of you.
That's industrious. That's actually like a pretty good plan.
I got a question for both of you.
Hold on, I need to note this down because this is probably gonna be our thumbnail.
How normal for you guys is it to put mustard on cheese?
I don't like mustard.
I think mustard's like okay.
That's not the question. It's how normal would you say it is, regardless of whether you like it or not?
Mustard on cheese? I've never heard of that, so very not.
Yeah, like maybe sandwiches, or the only thing I can think of that would have mustards off the top of my head right now is like sandwiches and hot dogs. Which I guess the sandwich has cheese. There's some impetus for that.
That was very much everyone around me when I was like being brought up and young. It's just cheese and mustard are like the two things that go together really well.
What?
They very much do, mind you. I do enjoy it, but I've also just never met other people who even think it goes together, never mind enjoy it. Which is just...
I'm sure there's a pun if I try hard enough.
Go for it. Surprise us.
That sounds like the most arduous thing you've ever said. Something along those lines.
Jesus fucking Christ.
Jesus fucking Christ?
Jesus, get
it? Cheesy fucking crust.
I don't want to be here anymore. This was a mistake. Get me the fuck out of here.
For you will find twice the evil of all the good you will have done to him. For the Most High also holds hatred for sinners, and he will repay vengeance to the impious. A friend will not be known in good times, and an enemy will not be hidden in adversity. By the good fortune of a man, his enemies are grieved, and by his misfortune, a friend is revealed. You should never trust your enemy, for his wickedness rusts like a brass pot. And if he humbles himself and goes about bowed down, increase your alertness and guard yourself from him. You should not sit down anywhere near him, and you should not allow him to sit at your right hand, lest perhaps he may turn toward your place and seek your seat, and then, in the very end, you would understand my word and be stung by my sermon.
So the left one's fine.
I'm feeling stung,
so.
Mr. Sting.
If you go say your left hand, I mean, your left hand's like not nearly as vulnerable, so.
Uncultivated,
Do
casually
you know-
ignoring the B-movie reference.
Do you know who is vulnerable?
You.
Barry B. Benson?
You know what? That was not going to be my answer, but yeah, fuck it, why not?
Who will take pity on an enchanter struck by a serpent, or on someone who draws near to wild Bistonians? I mean, why would you draw near to wild Bistonians? Just draw in the safety of your own home. What the fuck?
Hey, Skytus.
Where?
You live in Germany. How common is smoked cheese in Germany?
It was more common in my childhood. I don't know the last time I heard anyone mention it. It's literally been over a decade since I've heard it, probably.
Because,
But
I like smoked cheese, but see, whenever you buy it, every single place you ever get it, in the UK at least, it's always referred to as German smoked cheese.
I think
or is in some German packaging.
I think you can get it
like this
fairly
thing.
commonly.
It's got slices of salami and like cheese, and it just says German across it. Because it's just, I don't know. Apparently, every single smoked cheese is very German.
Maybe that's why I haven't seen it since your youth. They're sending it all to other places. There's no more cheese.
Apparently. I fucking love it, mind you. It is one of the best ways to enjoy cheese, is smoked.
Oh yeah, you should be smoked when you enjoy cheese. And so it is with one who keeps company with an iniquitous man and is involved in his sins. For 1 hour he will abide with you, but if you begin to turn aside, he will not permit it. An enemy speaks sweetly with his lips, but in his heart he waits in ambush so that he may throw you into a pit. An enemy has tears in his eyes.
And an enemy spotted.
An enemy has tears in his eyes. That's just a sentence.
It's been general. Like, they tend to.
But if he finds an opportunity, he will not be satisfied with blood. That's just... We're getting a lot of best of today. That's just some banger.
What else is he going to be satisfied with? You come.
I mean, maybe he's going to dry you out. Maybe he's just going to hang you up and let you age like a fine wine so he can drink you later.
Smoke me like cheese.
And if misfortunes happen upon you, you will find him there first. An enemy has tears in his eyes, but while pretending to help you, he will dig under your feet.
Holy shit, it's like Minecraft Spleef.
Yeah.
I'm aware this is supposed to be an analogy, which is surprisingly rare in the Bible, because they're quite literal most of the time. But it's really funny to consider that it might just be literal.
He will shake his head and clap his hands and whisper much and change his expression.
If you're an enemy and you know it, clap your hands.
That's the end of the chapter, by the way.
It felt kind of incomplete.
So he's just gonna cry while pretending to help you, actually digging under your feet, and then he's just gonna shake his head, clap, whisper a lot, and change his expression from tears to happiness.
Have you got like Down syndrome or something? So, very strange behavior.
Well, I guess we have another thumbnail idea, Terrace. We can bring Minecraft back.
This is literally like, the enemy's like a 12-year-old crying in Minecraft, kicking your ass in Minecraft Spleef. Like, it literally is.
Mom, I'm being bullied on Minecraft again.
Get out of my room, I'm playing Minecraft.
Get out of my room, I'm playing Minecraft.
Sirach 13. Whoever touches pitch will be contaminated by it. Every audio editor ever.
That's the wrong type of pitch.
Yeah, I mean,
what
like
interpretation are you pitching here?
Well, pitch is like tar.
You just
That's
tarnished your reputation by saying that.
You know, like that when you say pitch dark, pitch black, even.
Yeah, that's when
where
your
that-
voice goes really low pitch.
Thanks.
And whoever associates with the arrogant will be clothed by arrogance. Hey, free clothing. Whoever associates with those more honorable than himself sets a burden on himself. And so you should have no fellowship with someone who is wealthier than you.
Damn.
That's a fucking banger. Holy shit. You can only be friends with people who are at the same level of wealth as you.
Well, rip
Stay in
homeless
your
people, I
lane.
guess.
The Bible is
So-
here to say, fuck for poor people.
No, I mean, if you're poor, you can be friends with poor, but don't bother the rich. Leave them alone. Because you're
So
setting
wait,
a
no,
burden.
no. Hold on. But this creates a problem, though. So if you're friends with someone poorer than you, then they are friends with someone richer than them
Yes?
because you're richer than them. So
I'm not
then they
richer.
can't actually be friends with you. It's very. I mean, no one is like the same exact wealth because that's
Yeah.
people own different things.
Well, temporarily you might be, but as soon as they purchase something, you have to disassociate with them.
Well, no, because I mean, even if you have the same amount of money, you still own different things.
Yeah, but you might temporarily be at the same wealth. It's unlikely, but possible. But as soon as one of you spends money and the other one doesn't, you have to unfriend them on Facebook.
Well, I'll just remove you from my friend list.
Just like God did with Moses. What will the cooking pot have in common with the earthen vessel? And when they collide with one another, one will be broken. I'm also broken. The rich man has suffered no injustice, and yet he fumes. But the poor man, though he has been wounded, will remain silent. If you are generous, he will take you up, and when you have nothing, he will cast you aside. If you possess, he will feastonian with you, and he will empty you. Ooh, and he will not grieve over you. If he has need of you, he will deceive you, and while smiling, he will give you hope and head. He will converse with you pleasantly, and he will say, "What is it that you need?" And he will impress you with his foods until he has drained you 2 or 3 times.
Holy fuck.
And in the very end,
Throat goat.
And in the very end, he will ridicule you.
For what? Coming too fast?
Yeah. He's basically verbalizing your post nut clarity.
One of
It's
all
like,
those things. I just got a
wow,
girlfriend.
you really just let this weirdo jerk you off? Man, you've fallen down far.
Oh.
Afterward, when he sees you, he will abandon you and he will shake his head at you. Just imagine. Somebody just impresses you with food and then you go to his home, he jerks you off multiple times and then he just makes fun of you, leaves and shakes his head. What the fuck? Oh my god, I just read the next one. We're gonna have to wait for Terrace to come back. Oh my
Oh, no.
god. Terrace. I'm gonna have to repeat the entire thing again, the 13.8, because the next one is just... I need your attention, Terrace. And he will impress you with his foods until he has drained you 2 or 3 times, and in the very end he will ridicule you. And afterward, when he sees you, he will abandon you and he will shake his head at you. Humble yourself before Skytus and wait for his hands.
Oh,
They knew what they were doing.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
Be careful, otherwise, having been seduced into foolishness, you will be humiliated.
We're not even reading it wrong. It just says it right there. Oh.
Remember that part in the Bible they jerk you off 3 times and then make fun of you?
Oh.
Oh my god. Do not choose to be low in your wisdom. Otherwise, having been brought low, you will be seduced into foolishness. If you are invited by someone who is more powerful than you should decline. Otherwise, he will invite you all the more. And then jerk you off 3 times. You cannot be rude to him, lest you be pushed away. And you cannot stray for him, lest you be forgotten. Ah, yes, if somebody who is more powerful invites you, you have to decline, but you also can't stray from him, because then you will be forgotten. If he never invites you in the first place, you're fine, but if he invites you, then you have to stay near him, but never accept his invitation. You cannot hold a discussion with him as an equal. You should not trust his many words, for by much talking he will probe you. And while smiling, he will question you about your secrets. He's trying to get your pin. His cruel mind will store up your words, and he will not spare you from affliction nor from prison. Yeah, he's literally just gonna get your pin from a credit card and then throw you in jail and empty your bank account and everything.
That's how he got rich, I guess.
True.
Like, it checks out.
Be cautious of yourself and attend diligently to what you are hearing, for you are walking toward your own destruction. Yet truly, while listening to these things, consider it as if it were a dream, and you will awaken. Love's guide is for your eternal life, and call upon him for your salvation. Every animal loves its own kind. So also every man loves those closest to himself. Kinda gay. All flesh will join with whatever is similar to itself. I mean, men are more similar to men than to women, so
Men.
that's pretty gay.
Sword fight.
If a wolf would at any time have fellowship with the Justagog. Wait, hold on, I skipped a line. If a wolf would at any time have fellowship with the lamb, so also would a sinner have fellowship with the Justagog. Yeah, a wolf is fucking your light bulb.
Oh. Oh.
What fellowship does a holy man have with a dog? I don't want to know. Or what portion do the wealthy have with the poor? In the desert, the wild donkey is the prey of the lion. So also are the poor the pasture of the rich. And Justagog, as humility is in abomination to the arrogant, so also does the rich man abhor the poor man. When a wealthy man has been shaken, he is strengthened by his friends. But when a lowly man has fallen, he is expelled even by those who know him well. When a rich man has been deceived, many will help him recover. He has spoken arrogantly, and yet they Justagogify him. When a poor man has been deceived, in addition, he is rebuked. He has spoken with understanding, and no place is given to him. The rich man has spoken, and all remain silent, and they repeat his words, even to the clouds. The poor man has spoken, and they say, "Who is this?" And if he stumbles, they will overthrow him. Substance is
They
good.
really just say irrelevant plus L plus ratio, and then they fucking cast him aside.
Substance is good for him who has no sin on his conscience. And poverty is called very wicked by the mouth of the impious. The heart of a man changes his face, either for better or for worse. You will find, with difficulty and much labor, the sign of a good heart and a good face. Would you like to go on? You can at any point just take over if you want.
I shall take this one over. Hopefully there's like twice as many handjob references.
No.
So Ra 14.1. It's probably Sirach. Yeah, I can't read. Sirach 14:1. Blessed is the man who is not slipped because of a word from his mouth, and who has not been stung by grief because of an offense. Happy is he who does not have sadness in his mind. Oh shit. And who has not fallen away from his hope. Substance is senseless for a greedy and stingy man. And what would a spiteful... Oh, I'm just illiterate. Spiteful man doeth his gold. Whoever acquires unto just a gawkly, according to his own mind, gathers for others. For another will spend his goods lavishly. Whoever is wicked to himself, to whom will he be good? For he will not take enjoyment in his own goods. Whoever has ill will towards himself, nothing is more worthless than he is. But such is the reward of his wickedness. And if he does good, he does it ignorantly and unwillingly. And, in the very end, he realizes his own malice. The eyes of the spiteful man is wicked, and he averts his face and despises his own soul. The eye of the greedy man is insatiable in his portion of iniquity. He will not be satisfied until he has consumed his own soul, withering it away. An evil eye is directed at evil things, and he will not be satisfied by bread. Instead, he will be needy and grieving at his own table.
Fucking griefers.
Needy. Get it? You need the bread.
No.
Needy for speedy.
Son, if you have anything, do good to yourself, and offer oblations to Skytus. New word just dropped.
No,
Ignore
it's
that,
fine.
I knew what that meant. Remember that death with one F has not been delayed, and that the covenant of the grave has been revealed to you. For the covenant of this world, we pass away in death with one F. Do good to your friend before you die.
Wink.
And, according to ability, extend your hand and give to the poor.
Wink.
Do not cheat yourself out of a good day, and do not let the smallest good gift pass you by. Do not leave it to the others to divide your sorrows and labors by lot. Give and receive, and justigakify your soul. Before your passing, accomplice justigakis.
Passing?
For in death with one F, there is no food to be found. Yep, when you're fucking dead, you can't eat. That's true. All flesh grows like the grass, and like the foliage springs forth from the green tree. I mean, you can't eat if you don't have assistance.
I mean, that's not eating, that's being made to eat. That's passive, not active. Eating is active, so.
That's being fed.
Yeah, I guess that also works.
Some spring up, and others fall away. Such is the generation of flesh and blood. One is finished, and another is born. Every corruptible work will fail in this end. In the end, and its worker will go with it. But every excellent work will be justigakified, and whoever worked it will be honored by it. Blessed is the man who will abide in wisdom, and who will meditate on her righteousness, and who, in his mind, will consider the circumspection of Skytus. He considers her ways in his heart, and he finds understanding in her secrets. He goes after her like an investigator, and he is constant in her ways. He gazes through her windows, and he listens at her door. He rests next to her house, and, fastening a peg in her walls, he sets up his cottage by her hands, and so good things will find rest in his cottage as time passes. He will station his sons under her covering, and he will abide under her branches. He'll be protected by the covering from the heat, and he will rest in her glory.
I like the metaphor, but I like even more just taking it more literally, that he's just being a fucking creep at her house.
Yeah, just stalking and fucking squatting at their house.
You're free to continue however much you would like.
I'm good.
Hi, good, I'm Skytus.
Hi, Skytus, I'm good.
Hi, good, I'm Skytus.
Where am I?
Home. Sirach 15. Whoever fears Skytus will do good, and whoever holds to Justigakis will obtain it. Like an honorable mother she will meet him, and like a virgin bride she will receive him. She will feed him with the bread of life and understanding, and she give him to drink from the water of salvific wisdom. That's a new word that just dropped.
Salvific.
Please fic. And she will be confirmed in him, and he will not waver. And she will hold to him, and he will not be confounded. And she will exalt him along with those closest to him. And in the midst of the church, she will open his mouth, and she will fill him with the spirit of wisdom and understanding, and she will clothe him with a robe of glory. She will store up in him a treasure of rejoicing and exaltation. Where in his ass? And she will cause him to inherit an everlasting name. But foolish men will not take hold of her. And though understanding men will meet her, foolish men will not catch sight of her. For she is far from arrogance and deceit. Lying men will be wary of her, but men who speak the truth will be found with her, and they will have success even when examined by Skytis. Praise is not beautiful in the mouth of a sinner, for wisdom was sent from Skytis, and praise will stand before the wisdom of Skytis, and praise will abound in the mouth of the faithful, and the sovereign Lord will give praise to wisdom. You shall not say, it is because of Skytis that wisdom is absent. For you should not do what he detests. You should not say, he has led me astray. For the impious are of no use to him. The Lord hates all abominable error, and those who fear him will not love such things. Skytis established man from the beginning, and he left him in the hand of his own counsel. He added his commandments and precepts. If you choose to keep the commandments, and if, having chosen them, you fulfill them with perpetual fidelity, they will preserve you. He has set water and fire before you. Extend your hand to whichever one you would choose. Before man is life with death with one F. Good and evil. Whichever one he chooses will be given to him. For the wisdom of Skytis is manifold, and he is strong in power, seeing all things without ceasing. The eyes of the Lord are upon those who fear him, and he knows each one of the works of men. He has commanded no one to act impiously, and he has given no one permission to sin, for he does not desire a multitude of faithful and useless sons.
I don't think that's true. There's multiple times in one of the most infamous Bible stories is he's like, hey dude, kill your son for me, and then doesn't he fucking just let him do it? I feel like that's kind of letting someone sin.
No?
Oh, okay, fair enough.
Who was Isaac's daddy? Was that Esau? No.
I think it might have been.
Was it Abraham? I don't fucking know. Well, whoever it is, he is willing to go through with it, and then Skytis is like, hey, actually, it's just a prank, bro. Don't do it.
Dude, look, there are cameras everywhere.
Just a prank, bro.
Sacrifice prank gone viral.
Also, God allows himself to sin quite a bit, but I guess he's the exception.
Well, he's exceptional, so it adds up. Sirach 16. You should not rejoice in impious children if they are successful, nor should you take delight in them if the fear of Skytis is not in them. You should not approve of their life, nor should you look with favor on their labors. For one child who fears Skytis is better than 1,000 impious children. And it is better to die without children than to leave behind impious children. By means one person with understanding, a country will inhabit it. The tribe of the impious will become desolate. Many such things my eyes have seen, and mediocre things than these my ear has heard. In the synagogue of sinners a fire will blaze forth, and amid an unbelieving people wrath will flare up. The giants of antiquity did not obtain pardon for their sins. They were destroyed by trusting in their own abilities. And he did not spare the place of Lot's sojourn, and he abhorred them because of the arrogance of their words. He did not take pity on them, destroying an entire people who even extol themselves concerning their sins. And this was so with 600,000 men, who were gathered together in the hardness of their hearts. What? And this was so with 600,000 men who were gathered together in the hardness of their hearts. And if even a single obstinate person had escaped unpunished, it would be a wonder. For mercy and wrath are with him. He is powerful in forgiveness, and he pours forth wrath. He's powerful in forgiveness, but he just executes everyone. Yeah, adds up. As is his mercy, so also is his correction. He judges a man according to his works. The sinner in his violations will not escape, but patience of the one who shows mercy will not be diminished. Every mercy will make a place for each man according to the merit of his works and according to the understanding of his sojourn. You should not say, I am hidden from Skytes, or who from on high will take note of me, or among us a mediocre number of people I will not be noticed. For what is my soul amid such an immense creation? Behold!
Yeah, right.
The heavens and the heaven of heavens, the abyss and the entire earth, and the things that are within these will be shaken by his gaze, together with mountains and hills and the foundations of the earth. When Skytis casts his gaze upon them, they will be struck with trembling. And concerning all these things, the heart is without understanding, but every heart is understood by him. And who will understand his ways, or the tempest, which no eye of man will see? For many of his works are concealed, but who will announce the works of his justice? Or who will endure them? For the testament is far from some persons, and the examination of each thing is in its end. Whoever diminishes the heart thinks empty thoughts. For the imprudent and erring man thinks up foolishness. Listen to me, son, and learn the disciplines of understanding, and attend my words in your heart, and I will speak with equity about discipline, and I will strive to announce wisdom. So attend to my words in your heart, and I will speak with equity of spirit about the virtues that Skytus has set within his works from the beginning, and I will announce his knowledge and truth. And with the judgment of Skytus, his works have been done from the beginning. And from their institution he himself distinguished their parts and set their beginnings in their kinds. He has beautified their works unto eternity. They have neither hungered nor labored, and they have not ceased from their works. Neither will any one of them cause anguish to his neighbor forever. You should not be incredulous at his word. Afterward, Skytus looked with favor upon the earth, and he filled it with his goodness. The soul of every living thing brought word from before his face, and their return again is to him. Harris,
Yes.
why are there plates on the couch behind you?
That's the plates from food that I've just put there that I'm too lazy to do something with.
Okay.
I was gonna put them in a dishwasher earlier, but then there was already things in the dishwasher from the time when I put them in the dishwasher and set them to wash. But then the dishwasher was a bit clogged, and I've been too lazy to fix it until this morning. So I've cleaned up the dishwasher today, and then put the dishwashing on, and then so it's finished now. But I'm too lazy to actually take it out and then put the plates back in there. So they're just waiting until I'm finished doing things so that I can. I'll do it someday, but I mean, so by someday, maybe today or tomorrow. Probably, maybe, hopefully, because I don't actually want them there, mind you. But I don't use the couch. It means they're out of the way, so I don't have to. I don't actually have to worry about them. I'm not even drunk, by the way. I'm just fucking bored.
I noticed. I was wondering if we're gonna get another screwdriver story.
That was pliers.
Or pliers, my bad.
Oh, what's the pliers story?
It's at the end of. Hold on. There we go. Look.
Didn't you make a clip?
So at the end of Bible reading 31, Harris goes ahead and tells.
There's like a half an hour. There's like a half an hour monologue
Yep.
which shows you exactly how my brain works.
Just a little over half an hour. Or it might be exactly. I don't know how much outro there is, but yeah.
Okay, I guess we should just listen to it now.
Yeah, entirety, normal speed.
You know what?
Yeah,
You do that.
Yeah, do it.
We have a Bible
Go
to
on,
read.
Go on, Skydus, put it up.
Wait, can you like make me a special version of the clip with like Subway surfers at the top, please?
No,
Trust me, it's interesting enough that you don't need it.
no Subway
It's
for you.
It's very educational.
You already had your food. No Subway for you.
Oh man.
Sirach 17. God created man from the earth, and he made him according to his own image. Is this Genesis? And he returned him again to it, and he clothed him with virtue according to himself. He gave him the number and time of his days, and he gave him authority over all the things that are upon the earth. He placed the fear of him over all flesh, and he had dominion over wild Bistonians and flying things. He created from him a helper, similar to himself. He gave them counsel and language, and sight and hearing, and a heart in order to think. I also use my heart to think. And he filled them with the discipline of understanding. He created within them the knowledge of the Spirit. He filled their heart with understanding, and he showed them both good and evil. He set his eyes upon their hearts, to reveal to them the mediocreness of his works, so that they might highly praise the name of sanctification and give glory to his wonders, so that they might declare the mediocreness of his works. In addition, he gave them discipline and the law of life as their inheritance. He established an eternal covenant with them, and he revealed to them his justice and judgments. Hey Terrace, wasn't there a drinking rule about the Bible just summarizing and repeating itself? We're literally just getting a summary of Genesis and actually the next few books, I believe. Just saying.
Yeah, sure, why not?
And their eyes saw the mediocreness of his honor, and their ears heard the honor of his voice. And he said to them, beware of all iniquity. And he commanded each one concerning his neighbor. Their ways are always in his sight. They are not hidden from his eyes. Over each and every people he has appointed a ruler. And Glasgow was made to be the manifest portion of Skytis. And in the sight of Skytis, all their works are like the sun, and his eyes without ceasing inspecting their ways. The covenants are not hidden by their iniquity, and all their iniquities are in the sight of Skytis. The almsgiving of a man is like a seal upon him, which will guard the grace of a man like the pupil of an eye. And afterward it will rise up and repay them their reward, each one upon his head, and it will return to the hidden places of the earth. Now, to the repentant, he has given the way of justice, and he has strengthened those lacking in patience, and he has fastened them to a destiny of truth. Convert to the Lord, and relinquish your sins. Make supplication before the face of the Lord, and diminish your offenses. Return to the Lord, and turn away from your injustice, and have immense hatred for abomination. And acknowledge the justices and judgments of Skytis, and stand firm in the circumstances set before you, and in prayer to the Most High Skytis. Go to the side of the holy generation, to those who live in order to give praise to Skytis. You should not linger in the error of the impious. Confess before death with one F. Confession perishes from the dead as if it were nothing. Confess while living. You should give thanks while you are still alive and healthy, and you should praise Skytis and glory in his compassion. How mediocre is the mercy of the Lord and his forgiveness for those who convert to him! Exclamation mark. For not all things can be in man, because the Son of Man is not immortal, and because they are pleased by the emptiness of malice. What is brighter than the sun? Yet this will fail. Or what is more wicked than that which flesh and blood has invented? And that will be reproved. He beholds the power of the heights of heaven, and all men are earth and ashes. Wait, all men are earth and ashes?
Twice now that he's mentioned earth and ashes. Like, what the... What else would man be?
He's basically okay. Let me rephrase this or get the gist of it across. You're fucking dirt. You're worthless. At least that's what I think he's trying to say.
He's not wrong.
Sirach 18. The one who dwells in eternity created all things together. Skytus alone will be justified, and he remains an invincible king for eternity. Who is able to declare his works? For who can examine his mediocreness? And who will announce the power of his magnitude? Or who would be able to describe his mercy? There is no diminishing and no increasing, and there is no discovering the mediocreness of Skytus. When man has reached the end, then he will begin. And when he ceases, he will be in need. What is man, and what is his grace? And what is his good, or what is his evil? The number of the days of men are as many as 100 years. Like a drop of water in the ocean, so they are considered to be. And like a grain of sand on the shore, so do these few years compare to the days of all time. For this reason, Skytus is patient with them, and he pours forth his mercy upon them. He has seen that the presumption of their heart is evil, and he knows that their rebelliousness is wicked. Therefore, he has bestowed his forgiveness on them, and he has revealed to them the way of equity. The compassion of man is toward those closest to him, but the mercy of Skytus is upon all flesh. He is merciful, and he teaches and corrects like a shepherd with his flock. He takes pity on those who accept the doctrine of compassion, and he applies his judgments promptly. Son, in your good works you should not complain, and in giving anything you should not cause grief with evil words. Is heat not refreshed by the dew? So also is a good word better than a gift. Behold is a word, not mediocrer than a gift, but both are with a justified man. The foolish place blame sharply, and a gift from the undisciplined causes the eyes to fail. Before you judge, put justice in order with yourself, and before you speak, learn. Before you become sick, obtain medicine, and before you judge, examine yourself. And then you will find forgiveness in the sight of Skytus. Before you become weak, humble yourself, and in a time of infirmity, show your way of life. Let nothing impede you from praying always, and then you will not dread to be justified, even unto death with one F. For the reward of Skytus dwells in eternity. Before you pray, prepare your soul, and do not choose to be like a man who tempts Skytus. Remember the wrath that will be on the day of consummation, and remember the time of retribution when he will turn away his face. Remember poverty in a time of abundance, and remember the deficiency of poverty in a day of riches. From morning until evening, the time will be changed, and all these are swift in the eyes of Skytus. A wise man will never be cautious in all things, and during a time of many offenses, he will be attentive against inaction. Anyone who is astute recognizes wisdom, and he will acknowledge anyone who finds it. Those who show understanding with words also have acted wisely themselves, and they have understood truth and justice, and they have fulfilled proverbs and judgments. You should not go after your desires. Instead, turn away from your own will. If you offer your desires to your soul, this will cause you to become a joy to your enemies. Take no delight in disorderly gatherings, whether large or small, for their commission of offenses is unceasing. You should not be reduced by the contention of borrowing, even if there is nothing in your purse, for you would be contending against your own life. I need to go. I see you've been productive, Terrace. Should we click on this?
Yeah, why not?
Oh no.
Are you proud?
Yes.
Jesus Christ.
You haven't even done a replace. I'm disappointed.
Wasn't necessary. It's just the one Sirach. So it's not multiple, just the one.
Thank you. Sirach 19. An inebriated worker will not be wealthy, and whoever despises littleness will fall a little at a time. Wine and women cause wise men to fall away, and then they will complain against those who understand. And whoever joins himself to fornicators will become wicked. Decay and worms will inherit him, and he will be denounced as the mediocre example. And his soul will be deducted from the number. Whoever is quick to believe has a trivial heart and will be diminished. And whoever offends against his own soul will have even less. Whoever rejoices in iniquity will be condemned, and whoever hates correction will have less in life. But whoever hates excessive talk extinguishes evil. Whoever sins against his own soul will be punished, and whoever rejoices in malice will be condemned. You should not repeat a wicked and harsh word, and then you will not be diminished. Don't say the N-word. Do not reveal your mind to a friend or foe. And if there is a sin within you, do not disclose it. For he will listen to you and watch you, and while pretending to defend your sin, he will despise you, and so he will be whenever he is with you. Have you heard a word against your neighbor? Let it die within you, trusting that it will not burst forth from you. Before the face of a word, a foolish man labors, like a woman groaning as she gives birth to a child. Same thing, really. Like an arrow
particularly unhinged, like, metaphor. I don't know. What a fucking random analogy.
They worked hard for that. It is the fruit of their labor.
Shut the fuck up.
Okay, you go on reading then.
I can't. I'm coming up with excuses. Okay, you can unshut the fuck up.
Like an arrow fixed in the flesh of the thigh, so is a word in the heart of a foolish man. Correct a friend, though perhaps there was a misunderstanding, and he may say, I did not do it. Or, if he did do it, correct him, so that he may not do it again. Correct your neighbor, for perhaps he did not say it. But if he did say it, correct him, so that he may not say it again. Correct your friend, for often a fault has been committed. And do not believe every word. There is one who slips with his word, but not with his heart. For who is there who has not offended with his words? Correct your neighbor before you reprimand him. And make a place for the fear of the Most High. For all wisdom is fear of Skytus, and it is wise to fear Skytus. And in all wisdom is the orderly disposition of the law. But the discipline of wickedness is not wisdom, and there is no prudence in the thoughts of sinners. There is a wickedness, and in it there is abomination. There's abomination. And there is a foolish man who has been diminished in wisdom. Better is a man who has been diminished in wisdom because his mind is failing. But with the fear of Skytus, then better is a man who has been diminished in wisdom because his mind is failing, but with the fear of Skytus, than he who abounds in intelligence, but with transgression against the law of the Most High. There's a certain cleverness, and it is just unjust agog. And there is one who utters a careful word explaining away the truth. There's one who humbles himself wickedly, for his interior is filled with deceit. And there's one who lowers himself excessively with a mediocre debasement. And there's one who inclines his face downward and pretends as if he did not see what has not been made known. And if he is prevented from sinning by lack of ability, then finds an opportunity for evil doing, he will do evil. A man is recognized by his appearances, but when you meet an understanding man, he is recognized by his face. The clothing of the body and the laughter of the teeth and the walk of a man give a report about him. There is a lying correction in the anger of a contemptuous man, and there is a judgment which does not prove to be good, but there is one who is silent, and the same is prudent. You look beautiful in that light, Harris.
Okay. I'm glad you think so.
Dashing.
I do have mood lighting.
Wow.
Oh shit.
That's you should have that more often. That is quite romantic. I'll even allow you to drain me twice with that. Sirach 20. How much better is it to reprove than to become angry, so as not to hinder him who may confess in prayer? The lust of a eunuch will deflower a young maiden. Wait. How does that work? The lust of a eunuch will deflower a young maiden. Similar is he who by violence gives an iniquitous judgment. How good it is, when you are corrected, to show contrition, for in this way you will escape deliberate sin. There's one who, by remaining silent, is found to be wise, and there's another who is hateful and who provokes by speaking out. There's one who, not having the understanding to speak, remains silent, and there's another who remains silent, knowing the proper time. A wise man will remain silent until the proper time, but an unrestrained and imprudent man will not heed the times. An imprudent person will not heed the times. Whoever uses many words will wound his own soul, and whoever unjustly takes authority upon himself will be hated. There is an advancement in evil for an undisciplined man, and there is a plan which turns to his detriment. There is a gift which is not helpful, and there is a gift, the repayment for which is double. There is a loss for the sake of boasting, and there is one who will lift up his head from lowliness. There is one who buys much for a small price, and one who pays it back sevenfold. Anyone wise in words makes himself loved, but the graces of the foolish will be poured away. A gift from the unwise will not benefit you, for his gaze is divided sevenfold. He will give little and reproach much, and the opening of his mouth is like a burning flame. There's one who lends today and demands repayment tomorrow. A man such as this is hateful. A foolish man will not have a friend, and there will be no thanks for his good deeds. For those who eat his bread have a false tongue. How often and how many are those who ridicule him? For what he possesses, he does not distribute with correct understanding, and he acts similarly with what he does not possess. The slip of a false tongue is like someone who falls upon pavement. Such a fall for the wicked will arrive quickly. A disagreeable man is like a pointless fable. It will be continually in the mouth of the undisciplined. A parable from the mouth of a fool will be rejected, for he does not speak it at the proper time. There is one who is prevented from sinning by poverty, and in his rest he will be vexed. There is one who will lose his own soul because of pretense, and he will lose it by an example of imprudence. For by seeking the approval of another, he will destroy himself. There is one who, for the sake of what others think, makes a promise to a friend, and so he gains him as an enemy for no reason. A lie is a wicked disgrace to a man, and yet lies will be continually in the mouths of those without discipline. A thief is better than a man who constantly lies, but both of them will inherit perdition. The habits of lying men are without honor, and their shame is with them without ceasing. A wise man will benefit himself by his own words, and a prudent man will please the powerful. Whoever works his land will raise high a stockpile of grain, and whoever works justice will himself be raised high. Yet truly, whoever pleases the powerful will escape their unfair treatment. Presents and gifts blind the eyes of judges and silence their mouths, turning them aside from their task of correction. Wisdom hidden and treasure unseen. Of what use is either of these? He who hides his foolishness is better than a man who conceals his wisdom. It's getting a little dry. Where are the funnies?
Yeah, it's been like three, I forget what they're called, but it's been 3 different Sirachs with like nothing funny happening. Like almost 0 comments.
I'm sure Terrace has a funny comment.
He has mood lighting at least.
What?
He has mood lighting, but does he also have moon lighting? A moonshine. He's busying himself with a very important task.
I'm actually just finished the task. Like, literally just finished
Is
it.
the entire thing done?
What is it?
Is the entire thing done?
Yeah, we can start arranging times.
Okay. Cultivated, when are you available?
What did I miss?
Me, and I missed you.
There is quite a lot of questions.
I've been left with more questions than answers today.
Hold on, let me just show Sky as a thing.
But will that be spoilers, and will that invalidate my participation?
No, I'm just gonna show you how many. I'll just you know what? It's fine.
I'm just asking.
spoil.
I don't know how it's gonna work. It's your thing.
It doesn't spoil anything. It's just you see how many questions there is.
Okay.
And the categories.
Dude, my left leg keeps fucking falling asleep. I can't just sit and read this.
Well, then you have to sit properly, so you're not just pinching your nerves and limiting your blood supply to your leg.
Or just stand up.
Yeah. Look, standing up is not very difficult. All you have to do is this. You just stand up.
Oh, you're right. Just gotta kinda...
Web problem.
There we go. I'm more well equipped to read.
Okay, but we're gonna have to figure out a rough date. I'm gonna say in several months because everyone's always busy, but
We will need a few people, preferably well, there's gonna be you and me. Obviously, I'm gonna be the game host, and there's gonna be you, and I'd say at least 2 other people, preferably 3 or 4.
are you in Uncultivated?
Oh, you're referring to the quiz. Yeah, I think so. You already said it'd be fairly far away, so I'm sure I could make it work.
We figured it out. Well, I mean, we will just
It's a quiz about me.
We will just try to find a time where the most people are available. So
We'll probably have Egg because I'm gonna convince him to do it. So
what about radio?
your mum, yeah.
Are you generally interested?
Yes.
Well, I mean, that means we already have 3 people.
Let me add you to the victim list.
Then, yeah, I'm just gonna post on the Discord again and just take suggestions for dates from the people that are interested. I assume it has to be on a weekend, because time zones.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Well, it's probably gonna take a while to get through it, so it will be a few hours to go through the whole thing. So it's it's just no, it's gonna have to be a weekend.
Either that or we have to split
mandatory.
it, but we'll have to see.
Nah, that'd be silly.
Sirach 21. Son, have you sinned? You should not add further sins. Then too, for your former sins, pray that they may be forgiven you. Pray that they may be forgiven you.
That's English.
Flee from sins as if from the face of a serpent, for if you approach them, they will take hold of you. Their teeth are like the teeth of a lion, bringing death with one F to the souls of men. Do not sin, lion penalty.
Yeah, that one.
All iniquity is like a two-edged spear. There is no healing in its wound. Reproach and injury will make resource useless. And a house that is...
What a spear? What? That's two-ended spears are a thing. They are an actual weapon. You know, you can't just hold a stick in the middle. There's no. That's not a. That's fuck off.
No, you.
Don't tempt me.
Reproach and injury will make resources useless, and a house that is exceedingly wealthy will become powerless through pride. In this way, the resources of the arrogant will be eradicated. Supplications from the mouth of
Hey,
the
Terrace.
pauper.
You're not Terrace. I'm Terrace. He's Cactus.
Are you okay?
No, he's Cactus. Why are you standing?
Just to prove that it's doable.
Yeah, you've done that. Sit back down now.
Why? What does it matter to you?
It upsets me greatly.
Well, I'm an upstanding citizen. What can I say?
You're a nuisance to general society.
Yeah, that's what he said.
I do what I do best. Which is just be outstanding. Out here on the internet.
Well, if you're going to be outstanding, then go outside.
Outstanding on these nuts. Oh shit, he's touching grass.
Oh, he's just leaving. I'm just going to head out.
I hope he sends us pictures. Need to be able to follow along at home.
An instructional video.
Okay, enough outstanding. Supplications from the mouth of the pauper will reach all the way to the ears of Skytus, and judgment will come to him quickly. Whoever hates correction is walking in the steps of a sinner, but whoever fears Skytus will convert within his heart. He who has power by means of a bold tongue will be known from far away. But an understanding man knows to slip past him. Whoever builds his house, paid for by another, is like one who gathers his building stones in winter. The synagogue of sinners is like stubble piled up. For the end of both of them, is a burning fire. The way of sinners is paved and level, and at their end is hell and darkness and punishments. Whoever observes Justagogus will obtain an understanding of it. The consummation of the fear of Skytus is wisdom and understanding. One who is not wise in goodness will not accept instruction. Now there is a wisdom which abounds in evil, but there is no understanding where there is bitterness. The knowledge of the wise will increase like a flood, and his counsel will continue like a fountain of life. The heart of the foolish is like a broken vessel, for it will not hold any wisdom. A knowledgeable man will praise any wise word he hears, and he will apply it to himself. The self-indulgent man has heard it, and it displeases him, so he casts it behind his back. The talk of the foolish is like a burden on a journey, but in the lips of the understanding, grace will be found. The mouth of the prudent is sought in the church, and they will consider his words in their heart. Like a house which has been demolished, so is wisdom to the foolish, and the knowledge of the unwise is like meaningless words. A doctrine to the senseless is like fetters on the feet, and like chains on the right hand. A foolish man lifts up his voice in laughter, but a wise man will not even laugh quietly to himself. Doctrine is to the prudent like a gold ornament, like an armband on the right arm, specifically on the right arm. The feet of the foolish step easily into his neighbor's house, but an experienced man will be apprehensive in the presence of the powerful. A senseless man will gaze through a window into the house, but a man who has been well taught will stand outside. It is foolish for a man to listen through the door, and a prudent man will be grieved at this disgrace. The lips of the imprudent will describe senseless things, but the words of the prudent will be weighed on a balance. The hearts of the foolish are in their mouths, and the mouths of the wise are with their hearts. Whenever the impious curse the devil, they curse their own soul. Those who whisper accusations defile their own souls, and they will be hated by all. And whoever abides with them will be hateful. The silent and understanding men will be honored.
The fully adjusting camera is sick. Why is the nun picture adorned with a monster logo?
Ask the creator. The creator's currently not around. You can't ask them. Get wrecked. I didn't make this.
Well, shit.
I didn't even ask for this. I literally just got this. This is just a gift I got.
I would like to imagine that you went out of your way to take a picture of yourself and then frame it.
Nope, actually not. This was a gift from the gods.
Well, he did go out of his way to frame it.
True. See if I still have a close-up version. Probably not, but who knows. Oh. Just for you.
No fucking way.
Reflection, hold on.
Just fucking pick it up off the wall and bring it to the camera.
Too much light outside. Sucks.
You also suck.
No. That was a few Isaiah. Or what? That was a few Sirachs ago. 2 to 3 times. Oh shit! I didn't even see the text or the good background. What the fuck? That's like sick.
These guys.
Me.
Yeah. It's
Me?
time. It's time.
It's not time to make a
time.
change. Sit down, take it slowly.
No, it's time.
You're still young.
No,
It's your
time.
fault, though.
No, it's time.
There's so much you have to know from the Bible.
No, that's fine. We've got our entire lifetimes to get to the end of this.
Dude, aren't there people who like go out of their way to memorize this shit?
Yeah, we call them priests.
Like,
No, we don't. You call them priests. I call them idiots.
exactly. Like, how fucking crazy do you have to be?
Crazy?
I like
was crazy
unironically
once.
having trouble staying awake.
Crazy? I was crazy once. They locked me in a room. A rubber room with
wonder they
rats.
fucking
And
drink
rats
during the
make me
communion.
crazy. Hey, Uncultivated, what's your plan for from now on for the rest of the day?
Probably sleep right after this.
How much longer would you
And
like this to
then-
go on for?
At the current pace, I guess like 30 minutes. And then if it picks up a little bit, maybe like an hour.
Well, get fucked, terrorists.
Oh, wait.
On my enemy.
I like suffering. How about like 3 hours?
Yeah?
Can we actually finish it today?
No, but we have hours left. We can. Hold on. Let me check how many. 10, 9, 8, 7. We could go for 7 more hours.
Okay. That works. We've been around I forget where we started. I think we started at like 3, it's either 81 or 91. I'm probably 391. It's like 3 pages. Spend 2 hours. That's pretty good. That's 1.5 pages an hour. We'll get through 1.5 times
If you want to
7.
know how
Math
long
is
it's
hard.
going to take, just look at the Bible management sheet. We literally have that stat.
Yeah, but this one's especially boring, so it's going by faster, I imagine.
There was a lot of tangents, though.
True.
Sirach
fucking tangent.
22. The lazy man is pelted with a dirty stone, and all will speak about his rejection. The lazy man is pelted with the dung of coxen, and all who will touch him will brush off their hands. An undisciplined son is the shame of his daddy, but an undisciplined daughter will be his degradation. A prudent daughter brings an inheritance to her husband, but she who causes shame will be a disgrace to him who conceived her. She who is bold shames her daddy and her husband, and she will not be less offensive to the impious, for she will be held in dishonor by both. An untimely explanation is like music in the time of mourning, but the sharp correction of doctrine of wisdom are ever timely. Whoever teaches the foolish is like someone who glues together a broken pot. Whoever explains a word to one is not listening. To one who is not listening is like someone who suddenly awakens a sleeping person from a deep sleep. I am 12 and this is deep.
That doesn't even fucking make sense. What?
Well, if you explain...
How does someone...
No, you're explaining to somebody who's not listening. That's the same as you're explaining it to someone who just woke up from a very deep sleep. So they are also not capable of listening. It's dumb, but it's not wrong, I guess. No, wait, who suddenly awakens... I guess, yeah, it's pointless. You're explaining it to someone who isn't listening, which is the same as awakening somebody who's sleeping. Why?
It just doesn't...
Whoever explains wisdom to the senseless is like one speaking to a sleeping person. And at the end of the explanation, he says, "Who is this? Weep over the dead, for his light has failed. And weep over the foolish, for his understanding has failed. Weep only a little over the dead, for he is at rest. But the wicked life of a wicked fool is worse than death with one F. The mourning for the dead is 7 days. But for the foolish and the impious, it is all the days of their life. You should not talk at length with the foolish, and you should not go with the senseless."
Why are we doing it here with Uncultivated?
Keep yourself
What?
from him, so that you may not have problems and so that you will not be polluted by his sin.
Sounds like a plan.
What?
Uncultivated.
You have a plan? Turn away from him, and you will find rest, and you will not be discouraged by his foolishness. What is heavier than lead? What else can he be called but foolish? Sand and salt and iron weight are each easier to bear than an imprudent man, who is both foolish and impious. A bundle of wood strapped together in the foundation of a building will not be loosened, and similar is the heart that has been strengthened by thoughtful counsel. The thoughts of one who is understanding will not be corrupted by fear in any situation. Just a gog as chaff in a high place, or a wall made of mortar without stones set within. Will not continue... Wait, what? Just a gog as chaff in a high place, or wall made of mortar without stones set within, will not continue against the face of the wind. That comma is irritating. So also a timid heart and the thoughts of the senseless will not withstand the forcefulness of fear. Despite a cowardly heart, the thoughts of the foolish will not fear any situation. Yet neither will one who continues always in the precepts of Skytus. He who jabs an eye produces tears, and he who jabs the heart produces understanding. He who throws a stone at birds will drive them away. So also he who accuses his friend dissolves the friendship. But if you have drawn a sword against your friend, you're playing Minecraft. You should not despair, for there may be a way back. If you have opened a harsh mouth against a friend, you should not fear, for there may be a reconciliation. However, if there are
what the fuck?
Here Uncultivated. Hey, here Uncultivated. Hey. Hey.
Hello.
Here Uncultivated. Do you enjoy your soda stream?
I do.
Oh, good. Just check in.
I have... You can't see it. You can't see it past the other garbage. These are the only flavors I own. Fuck. I don't know if you can read them. They're all Skittles.
Nice.
However, if there are accusations or abuse or arrogance or the revealing of secrets or a wound from deceitfulness, in all these cases, a friend will flee away. Hold to faithfulness with a friend in his poverty so that you may also rejoice in his prosperity. In the time of his tribulation, remain faithful to him so that you may also be an heir with him in his inheritance. Just as the steam from an oven or the smoke from a fire rises up before a flame, so also do curses and insults and threats rise up before bloodshed. I shall not be ashamed to greet a friend, nor shall I hide myself from my face. And if misfortunes befall me because of him, I will endure. Anyone who hears of this will be wary around him. Who will provide a keeper for my mouth and a reliable seal over my lips, so that I may not fall because of them, and so that my tongue does not destroy me? Sirach.
Apparently, the guy from who got to finish 2 or 3 times will provide the keeper.
I'm the guy that got to finish 2 or 3 times. Sirach 23. Lord, daddy and ruler of my life, may you not abandon me to their counsel, nor permit me to fall by them. They would impose scourges over my thoughts and over the discipline of wisdom in my heart, and they would not spare me from their ignorances, nor would they allow their own offenses to become apparent. And they intend that my ignorances would increase, and my offenses be multiplied, and my sins be abound. And so I would fall in the sight of my adversaries, and be rejoiced over by my enemy. Lord, daddy and skytess of my life, may you not abandon me to their plans. Do not leave me with the haughtiness of my eyes, and avert all desire from me. Take the desire of the body from me, and do not allow sexual desire to take hold of me, and do not permit an irrelevant and senseless mind within me. O sons, listen to the doctrine of my mouth, for those who observe it will not perish by the lips, nor be scandalized into wicked works. A sinner is held by his own emptiness, and the arrogant and those who speak evil will be scandalized by these things. Do not allow your mouth to become accustomed to swearing oaths, for in this there are many pitfalls. Truly, do not allow the naming of skytess to be continually in your mouth, and do not treat as if common the names of the holy ones, for you will not escape punishment by them. Just as a servant continually interrogated will not be without a bruise, so everyone who swears oaths and takes skytess' name will not be entirely free from sin. A man who swears oaths will be filled with iniquity, and scourges will not depart from his house. And if he fails to fulfill it, his offense will be over him. And if he pretends he fulfilled it, the offense doubly. And if he swears an oath insincerely, he will not be justified, for his house will be filled with retribution for him. There is yet another kind of talk which faces death with one F. Let it not be found in the inheritance of Jacob. For all these things will be taken away from the merciful, and they shall not wallow in offenses. Do not allow your mouth to become accustomed to the undisciplined speech, for in this there is the sin of words. When you sit in the midst of mediocre men, remember your daddy and mother. Otherwise, skytess may forget you. When you are in their sight, and then you would be repeatedly ridiculed and would suffer disgrace, and you might wish that you had never been born, and you might curse the day of your nativity. The man who is accustomed to disgraceful words will not accept instruction all the days of his life. 2 kinds of persons abound in sin, and a third adds wrath and perdition. A desirous soul is like a burning fire. It will not be quenched until it devours something. Devour these nuts. And a man who is wicked in the desires of his flesh will not desist until he has kindled a fire. To a man of fornication, all bread is sweet. He will not tire of transgression to the very end. Wait. Man of fornication, all bread is sweet. Is this a metaphor or not? Because if this is a metaphor, then bread means women. So earlier when we were talking about how you shouldn't let someone else take your bread because they might beat you with it. What the fuck does that mean?
That is an interesting implication. Fornication's like a trigger word, or a sleeper word. Like if you just fornicate with a woman, then she'll start beating the fucking shit out of her husband.
No, it's a sleep her word because you sleep with her.
True.
Every man who transgresses his own bed has contempt for his own soul. And so he says, who can see me? Darkness surrounds me. Who can see me? Darkness surrounds me, and the walls enclose me, and no one catches sight of me. Whom should I fear? The Most High will not remember my offenses. And he does not understand that Skytus' eye sees all things, including his micropenis. For fear within a man such as this, drives away from him both the fear of Skytus and the eyes of those men who fear Skytus. And he does not acknowledge that the eyes of the Lord are much brighter than the sun, keeping watch over him, over all the ways of men, even to the depth of the abyss, and gazing into the hearts of men, even to the most hidden parts. For all things, before they were created, were known to the Lord Skytus, and even after their completion, he beholds all things. This man will be punished in the streets of the city, and he will be chased like a young horse, and in a place that he does not suspect, he will be captured. And because he did not understand the fear of the Lord, he will be in disgrace before all men. As will be every woman too, who abandons her husband and establishes an inheritance by marriage to another man. For first, she was unbelieving of the law of the Most High. Second, she offended against her husband. Third, she fornicated by adultery and so established her children by another man. This woman will be led into the assembly, and she will be stared at by her children. Wasn't there something about not staring at women because you might get horny earlier?
Only if they're virgins.
Oh, well, yes, that makes sense.
Maybe this is that was foreshadowing for this. That makes sense.
Yeah, I mean,
they really covered their tracks on this one.
So it's fine to stare at your mom because she's not a virgin, so you can't become horny.
Exactly, but if you stare at her, then she also might be led into assembly.
It's like a built-in anti-incest function. That's great foresight. Her children will not take root.
Alabama didn't get the memo.
That's fine. Her children will not take root, and her branches will not produce fruit. She will leave behind her memory as a curse, and her infamy will not be wiped away. And those who are left behind will acknowledge that there is nothing better than the fears of Skytus, and that there is nothing sweeter than to have respect for the commandments of the Lord. It is a mediocre glory to follow the Lord, for length of days will be received from him. Would you like to do the honors?
Oh God. I think so.
Oh, what?
Oh, Skytus, sorry. Sirach 24. Wisdom will praise her own mind, and she will be honored by Skytus, and she will be glorified in the midst of her people. And she will open her mouth in the churches of Most High, and she will be glorified in the sight of his virtue. And, in the midst of her own people, she will be exalted, and she will be admired by the holy assembly. And there's a lot of ands here. And she will have praise within the multitude of the elect. She will be blessed among us, the blessed.
Maybe you should get somebody to take care of that ant colony then.
No. I need them. I don't have enough ants yet. And she will say, I went forth from the mouth of the Most High as the firstborn before all creatures. I caused an unfailing light to arise from the heavens, and I covered all the earth like a cloud. I lived in the highest places, and my throne is in the pillar of a cloud. I alone have encompassed the circuit of heaven, and have penetrated to the depths of the abyss, and have walked upon the waves of the sea, and have stood upon the whole earth, and amongst us every people, and in every nation I have held primacy. And, by virtue, I have tread upon the hearts of all, the mediocre and the lowly, and I have sought my rest in all of them. And I will continue, as the inheritance of the Lord. Then the Creator of all things instructed and spoke with me. And the one who created me rested in my Skytus tent. And he said, Let your dwelling be with Jacob, and let your inheritance be in Glasgow, for you shall take root amongst us, my elect. From the Beninging, and before the world I was created, and even unto the future world I will not cease to exist. For I have ministered before him in the holy habitation, And, in this way, I was established in Zion, and likewise, in the holy city, I found rest. And my authority was in Jerusalem. And I took root amongst us, an honorable people, within the portion of my Skytus, within his inheritance. And so my abode is in the full assembly of the saints. I was exalted like a cedar in Lebanon, and like a cypress on Mount Zion. I was exalted like a palm tree in Kadesh, and like a rose bush in Jericho. I was exalted like a beautiful olive tree in the plains, and like a sycamore tree beside the water along a wide road. I gave off an aromatic fragrance like cinnamon or balsam. I produced a sweet odor like
cinnamon.
Cinnamon or balsam. I produced a sweet odor like the best myrrh. And I perfumed my dwelling place with sweet gum and aromatic resin, and flower petals, and aloe, as well as the finest cedar from Lebanon. And my fragrance is like undiluted balsam. I have extended my branches like a terebinth tree, and my branches are of honor and grace. Like the vine, I have borne the fruit of a sweet fragrance, and my flowers are the fruit of honor and integrity. I am the mother of the beauty of love, and of fear and knowledge, and of holy hope. All grace of the way and of the truth is in me. All hope of life and virtue is in me. Journey toward me, all you who desire me, and be filled by my harvest. For my spirit is sweeter than horny, and my inheritance is better than horny, and the horny comb. My memory is for the generations of all ages. Whoever consumes me will hunger still, and whoever drinks me will thirst still. Whoever listens to me will not be confounded, and whoever acts in me will not sin. Whoever elucidates me will have eternal life. All this is a book of life and a covenant of the Most High and an acknowledgement of the truth. Osmosis commanded the law by the precepts of Justagacus, and an inheritance to the house of Jacob, and the promises to Glasgow. Skytus appointed David as a servant in order to raise up from him...
absolutely nonsensical the Bible's getting.
Yeah, none of this is, like, at all coherent.
What do you mean?
It's just
Like,
words.
Skytus appointed David as his servant in order to raise up from him the most mighty king who would sit upon the throne of honor forever. It is he who fulfills wisdom, like the Physion River.
You pronounced David wrong.
How do you pronounce David?
Titus, please educate him.
That's your job.
No. You're the reading man.
No, I've seen episode 50. You're also a reading man. You can do it.
I'm not a very good reading man.
That's fine. You can tell him how to pronounce it.
No, I think you're a lot better at it.
Well, I'm not going to tell him.
Why not?
Just to piss you off.
Wow. Fucking cruising for a bruising.
Well, I can't read it if I don't know, because then it's wrong. And what's the point of reading if it's wrong?
Well, just don't read it then. Just skip it. Just pretend the word isn't there.
Skytus appointed he who shall not be named as his servant in order to raise up from him a most mighty king, who would sit upon the throne forever. It is he who fulfills wisdom, like the Physon River and the Tigris River in the first days. It is he who fulfills understanding like the river Euphrates. It is he who multiplies understanding, like the river Jordan in the time of the harvest. He sends forth discipline like the light, and he stands forth like the river Gihon in the time of the vintage. He first had perfect knowledge of her, for a weaker one would not search for her. For her thoughts abound like the sea, and her counsels abound like the mediocre abyss. I, wisdom, have poured forth rivers. I am like a brook leading to the river of immense waters. I am like a channel flowing from a river, and I went forth from paradise like an aqueduct. I said, I will irrigate my garden of plantings, and I will thoroughly water the fruits of my field. And behold, my brook became uwu overflowing, and my river drew near to the sea. For I illuminate doctrine to all, like the first light. And I will announce doctrine, even to those who are far away. I will reach to all the lower parts of the earth, and I will glaze Nope, I will
She
gaze
can,
upon
she
all
can
those who
definitely
sleep.
reach to my lower parts.
And you'll glaze upon them.
Glay. Oh. Oh?
Yeah. The misreading was intentional, it was predictive. Even now... Oh wait, no. I will reach to the lower parts of the earth, and I will gaze upon all those who sleep, and I will illuminate all who hope in the Lord. Even now I pour forth doctrine like prophecy, and, even now, I bequeath doctrine to those who seek wisdom, and I will not cease from their progeny, even unto the holy time. See now, I have not labored for myself alone, but for all who are seeking truth. That was all one quote, I forgot about that. Like, little brevity, maybe.
Go on, Terrace.
Oh.
Sirach 25. My spirit is pleased with 3 things. These are approved in the sight of skies and men: the harmony of brothers and the love of neighbors, and a husband and wife agreeing well together. My soul hates 3 kinds of things, and I am mediocrely distressed over their souls: an arrogant pauper, a wealthy liar, a foolish and senseless elder. The things that you have not obtained in your youth, how will you find them in your old age? How beautiful it is for a grey head to have judgment, and for elders to know counsel. How beautiful it is for those who are aged to have wisdom, and for those who are honored to have understanding and counsel. Mediocre experience is the crown of the aged, and the fear of skies is their glory. I have magnified 9 things overlooked by the heart, and a 10th I will declare to men with my tongue: a man who finds joy in his children, and one who lives to see the undoing of his enemies. Blessed is he who lives with a wise wife, and he who has not slipped with his tongue. Like where? Into her panties? And he who has not served those unworthy of himself. Blessed is he who finds a true friend, and he who describes justice to an attentive ear. How mediocre is he who finds wisdom and knowledge, but there is no one above him who fears the Lord. The fear of skies has set itself above all things. Are you okay, Uncultivated?
I can't handle it anymore.
But,
I'm at the fucking limit.
well, then maybe I should
This is the most
activate.
boring book ever written.
It's literally your own fault. You've done this to yourself. I
Maybe-
wanted to
I did
end,
say
but
30
no.
minutes for an hour, and it's been a 30 minutes.
It's
Not
been
yet.
25 minutes, actually.
Yep. Not even.
It'll be
24 and something. But anyways, should I activate my limit break?
limit break. I think so.
Blessed is the man to whom it has been given to have the fear of skies. He who holds to it, to whom can he be compared? The fear of skies is the beginning of his love, and the beginning of faith has been joined closely to the same. The sadness of the heart is every wound, and the wickedness of a wife is every malice. And a man will choose any wound but the wound of the heart, and any wickedness but the wickedness of a wife, and any obstacle but the obstacle of those who hate him, and any vindication but the vindication of his enemies. There is no head worse than the head of a serpent, and there is no anger above the anger of a wife. Nice. It would be more agreeable to abide with a lion or a dragon than to live with a wicked wife. A wicked wife changes her face, and she darkens her countenance like a bear. And she displays it like a sackcloth. In the midst of her neighbors, her husband groaned, and hearing of this, he sighed a little. All malice is brief compared to the malice of a wife. Let the fate of sinners fall upon her. As climbing over sand is to feet of the aged, so is a talkative wife to a quiet man. They really don't like women. You should not favor a woman's beauty, and you should not desire a wife for her beauty. The anger and disrespect and shame from a wife can be mediocre. The wife, if she has primacy, is set against her husband. A wicked wife debases the heart and saddens the face and wounds the heart. A wife who does not make her husband happy enfeebles the hands and weakens the knees. The beninging of sin came from a woman, and through her we all die. You should not provide an exit to your water, not even a little. You should not provide an exit to your water, not even a little. Nor should you give permission for a wicked wife to exceed the limit. If she will not walk at your hand, she will confound you in the sight of your enemies. Tear her away from your body, lest she abuse you continually. What?
What was any? What the fuck?
What is bro waffling about?
Literally, that was just like women are angry and evil, and also they're like they should wear sacks. That was all that entire thing was. That was like 3 paragraphs.
Yeah, women are bad. Don't unless they're good, but if they're bad, just don't.